What's up, everyone? You're here with Goran from Pickdawgz, and thank you for joining me here for your free picks for Saturday, April 13th. Well, guys, I gotta say, Friday was a lot better than Thursday was. We fit 3 out of 4 free picks that we had in the video. We also swept the board with the premium picks 3 for 3. So it was a nice and profitable day, and it was exactly what we needed to bounce back after that sloppy Thursday, and before we are getting into this big Saturday that we have going on. In this video, you are getting a bunch of free picks once again: EPL, Bundesliga, La Liga, Serie A, and the French Ligue 1, and of course the parlay of the day at the end of this video. And I think it's gonna be a nice winner for us this time. It's plus 346, a five-legger, of course. So stay tuned until the end and make sure you subscribe and hit that like button. You guys know the drill. Feel free to check those sportsbook offers up on the Pick Dawgz website. There's a drop down menu on the left hand side. Select your state, and then you will get the offers for all the books that you possibly can, and get some additional free bets or maybe even bonus money and stuff like that if you sign up through the website. Uh, of course, as usual, feel free to leave a comment on any of these videos. And for my best bets, click the link in the description. That will get you up to my page where you can sign up, get a daily pass, 3-day pass, 7-day pass, or even a month-long pass if that's something you want to do. Like I said, guys, we have a bunch of free picks for you. Let's get this show on the road with the EPL as we usually do. Newcastle and Tottenham is the first game of the day in the EPL, 7:30 a.m. Eastern Time. A clash between two teams that are in very solid form right now, undefeated in their last 3 games. The teams that have been scoring a lot of goals, and the teams that will play without much defense, if I'm being honest here in this game, especially Newcastle, who is still missing a bunch of players because of the injuries or suspensions. While Tottenham, as their usual, they are not that solid defensively, and they have been conceding goals quite steadily this season. As we can see, the over 2.5 is juiced quite a lot, and both teams to score is as well. I do like goals in this one. However, we have to go with some kind of a different bet to get some value out of this one. And I decided to go with a player prop, and that is with Isak to get over 1.5 shots on target for Newcastle. It's plus 150. He's been in an outstanding form, and he's basically the only true striker that Newcastle has. So I'm taking Isak over 1.5 shots on target at plus 150. Brentford is hosting Sheffield United in the next matchup, and even though Brentford is a heavy favorite in this one, I do understand why. Because Sheffield is at the bottom of the table, they haven't beaten anyone in their last 7 games, while Brentford hasn't won any of their last 9 games. I expect goals in this one, if I'm being honest. Sheffield has been scoring a lot of goals, and they have been doing it consistently. Even though their defense is pretty much garbage this season, scoring goals is what they do well right now. So both teams to score in over 2.5 goals at minus 102. Burnley and Brighton is the next matchup in the EPL, and theoretically speaking, Burnley still has a decent chance of staying in the EPL. They are now 6 points away from the safe spot, and they have been winning some points lately. However, they are coming off of a loss against Everton 1-0, and they will be looking to bounce back in this one. Brighton hasn't won any of their last 3 games. As a matter of fact, they lost 2 of those 3 games, while scoring only 1 goal and conceding 5 in those 3 games. And this is a game where they simply have to go for it. They simply have to get to the scoreboard multiple times if possible. And I think that's exactly what's going to happen. I think it's going to be a fairly open matchup. And with that in mind, I'm taking over 2.5 goals at minus 154. Manchester City is hosting Luton Town after their matchup against Real Madrid in the Champions League, which ended in a 3-3 draw. Manchester City can't really relax here because they're still in the title race. They're in third place right now with 70 points, 1 point less than Liverpool and Arsenal in the first and second place. And all 3 teams are very, very even right now this season. 71 scored goals for City this season, which is actually less than Liverpool and Arsenal have scored. But I think they will stat pad that in this game here. Luton Town is in the relegation zone right now, but they have the same amount of points as Forest, and only 2 points less than Everton in 16th place, and potentially With a couple of wins until the end of the season, they could have enough to stay in the league. However, I don't think that's going to happen here. I think that Manchester City will try to take care of this one as soon as possible, which means scoring goals in the first half and attacking from the first second of the game. And because of that, I'm taking City to win and over 3.5 goals at minus 133. Nottingham Forest and Wolverhampton is the next matchup in the EPL, and Wolverhampton are in the 11th place right now. They're safe from the relegation, and they're far away from any of the European spots. I would say that this is probably their maximum this season. They have had ambitions to do more. They were playing well enough to do more. However, all the injuries that they have suffered have really set them back. And Nottingham Forest on the other side, like I said, just above the relegation zone. However, they are still very, very close to get relegated or stay in the league. It could honestly go either way. Injury lists have shortened pretty much almost all the way for both teams, and because of that, I think we're gonna see a highly competitive match between these two teams. And because of that, guys, I'm gonna go with both teams to score at minus 154. For the last game of the day in the EPL, we have Bournemouth hosting Manchester United. Manchester United, who is coming off of a 2-2 draw against Liverpool. However, they haven't won any of their last three games, and they have conceded at least a goal in each of their last four games in a row. Luckily for Manchester United, they do have a lot of offense to show for. They have been scoring a lot of goals, and they simply have to go for the win here. They need to get to that fourth or fifth place, which could be a salvation for them to qualify for the Champions League possibly. And Bournemouth on the other side has lost only one of their last six games, and that was against Luton Town 2-1 last week, which was quite unfortunate. But when playing at home, they have scored seven goals in their last three games. They've scored nine in their last four. However, they are also conceding a lot of goals, same as Manchester United is right now. So the obvious way to go here is with goals, but it's heavily juiced, as you can see, which is why I decided to take over 10.5 shots on target at minus 118. Both teams are struggling very much defensively right now. Both teams can keep a clean sheet, and because of that, I think we're gonna see a lot of offense in this one, and I think that we are gonna see a lot of shots on target as well. Off to Spanish La Liga, guys, where we have three games to talk about, and all three of the teams we are going to talk about were playing in the Champions League earlier this week. We have Atletico Madrid hosting Girona, and without complicating stuff too much, Atletico Madrid is coming off of a win against Borussia Dortmund. However, they are going on the road next week, and I do expect a bit of a shuffled lineup for them here, which makes me think this is going to be Girona's chance to get a positive result. So I'm going to take Girona on the double chance at minus 114. Mallorca is hosting Real Madrid in the next matchup, and even though Mallorca has been quite solid as of late, they have lost only two of their last six games. They were solid at home with five wins, seven draws, and three losses. Real Madrid is a very, very good team, and they are almost without injuries right now, except Thibaut Courtois, who will remain injured for the rest of the season. Uh, they definitely could use a win here uh, to get back in the kind of a I don't know a winning mood before they travel to Manchester to face City next week. And because of that, I'm simply gonna take Real Madrid on the money line at minus 120. For the last La Liga pick, we have Cadiz hosting Barcelona, and in this one, I honestly think Barcelona could get a win. They are on a five-game winning streak right now. They had an outstanding match against PSG in the Champions League. It was probably one of the best games of the season for them. They have won that game 3-2. However, they still have to face PSG at home next week, and they are coming into this game with a bunch of suspended players. Cancelo is out, Inigo Martinez is out, and Lewandowski is out because of the yellow cards as well, which which means that Vitor Roque will probably be in the starting lineup as a striker for Barcelona here, and I decided to go with a player prop and take him to score a goal at any time. It's plus 175. He hasn't been getting a lot of minutes yet this season, but I think now that Lewandowski is out, he will take advantage of that position, and I see him getting a goal here, at least one. So I'm taking Vitor Roque to score a goal for Barcelona at plus 175. In German Bundesliga, guys, we have a few interesting matchups, and we are gonna kick it off with Mainz versus Hoffenheim. Both teams are coming off of a win last week in Bundesliga. Mainz got a precious win to get above the relegation zone. They have beaten Darmstadt 4-0 at home, while Hoffenheim has beaten Augsburg 3-1 at home as well. In the head-to-head matchups, we have seen some overs, we have seen some unders, but at the moment, neither side can keep a clean sheet. Mainz has actually done it 3 times in a row. I don't think they can do it for the fourth time in a row. And Hoffenheim, like I keep saying, they can keep a clean sheet if their lives depended on it. So this is going to be the game where I'm going with goals, and that is both teams to score and over 2.5 goals at minus 125. Borussia Mönchengladbach is hosting Borussia Dortmund, and I honestly think this is a great opportunity for them to get a positive result out of this one. Now, I'm sure that Dortmund will not just give up. They have lost their last 2 games in a row. They need to get back on the winning track before facing Atletico Madrid in the Champions League next week. Uh, am I expecting a full lineup from Dortmund? Not really. I'm sure there will be a few changes, and that is going to be a great opportunity for Borussia Mönchengladbach to do something in this game. At home, they are very solid. They are playing a lot better at home than they are on the road. And with that in mind, I'm taking Borussia Mönchengladbach over 4.5 shots on target at minus 125. Bayern Munich is hosting Köln in the next Bundesliga matchup, and now they haven't won any of their last 3 games. They have lost their last 2 Bundesliga games, and the title is very much out of reach for Bayern Munich. There's absolutely no way they can win it this season, which, in my opinion, is a good shakeup for Bundesliga. But they are playing in the Champions League against Arsenal at home next week. They will be without Davis, who is suspended because of the yellow cards. Gnabry got hurt in that game against Arsenal earlier this week. Apart from them, Neuer is healthy. All the other starters are healthy. I'm sure that some of them will not be playing in this game because, let's be honest, they don't have to. But I still think that Bayern Munich will try to get a win in this one just to keep their morale a little bit higher ahead of that Champions League matchup. Cole on the road, very, very bad this season. 1 win, 7 draws, and 6 losses. While uh, they have conceded 25 goals in 14 games on the road so far this season, and Bayern has scored 47 goals at home so far this season. So, however I slice it, I see goals in this one, and because of that, I decided to take over 1.5 goals in the first half at minus 115. Leipzig is hosting Wolfsburg in the next matchup, and I gotta say, guys, I have zero faith in Wolfsburg right now. They made a coaching change. It basically didn't do anything. And Leipzig at home hasn't lost to Wolfsburg in any of their last 9 games. On top of that, Leipzig is coming off of a nice win against Freiburg 4-1. They are in fourth place right now, which is a Champions League spot, and they need a win here to stay on that Champions League spot. So I'm taking Leipzig to win and over 2.5 goals at minus 128. Bochum and Heidenheim is another matchup in the German Bundesliga. Two very much struggling teams right now. Bochum still trying to stay away from the relegation zone. Heidenheim is pretty far away, and I would say that they are safe. They will be staying in Bundesliga for another season. But neither side can keep a clean sheet right now. They're struggling a lot. However, they are capable of scoring goals. So this is going to be another game where I'm going to go with both teams to score an over 2.5, and this one pays out at minus 150. The last game of the day in Bundesliga is between Stuttgart and Eintracht Frankfurt. Stuttgart is on a nice roll. They haven't lost any of their last 7, 8 games in a row. They are in third place in Bundesliga, which is the Champions League spot. They've done an outstanding job this season, and I definitely love seeing them qualifying for the Champions League. Eintracht on the other side is in sixth place. They will be fighting for that Europa League spot. If not that, maybe Conference League spot. However, they haven't been very consistent in the second half of the season, especially. They are coming off of a 1-1 draw against Werder Bremen. They have had solid results against Stuttgart in the past. However, Stuttgart is playing really, really well right now. They don't have any notable injuries. They don't have any notable suspensions. And because of that, I'm going to go for a full swing here, guys. And that is Stuttgart to win and both teams to score at plus 177. In the Italian Serie A, guys, we have a couple of games to talk about. We have that big Turin derby between Torino and Juventus, and it's been a long time since Juventus has lost in this matchup. Whether they played at home or on the road, they do have Torino's number, and that's going to be their guide for this game as well. Juventus is now on a two-game winning streak. They have kept two clean sheets in a row. However, both of those games were at home. Torino, on the other side, is a very capable team, in my opinion. They are in the top half of the table. They are solid defensively. They can score goals. But like I said, Juventus hasn't lost in this matchup in a long, long, long time. And in the last head-to-head game, Torino hasn't scored a goal, and they ended up losing 2-0. However, when playing at home, they have been scoring goals quite consistently. And their current form in the attack again is very good as well. So I'm gonna go with both teams to score at plus 115. Bologna will try to keep their winning streak alive against Monza at home, and I think that's exactly what's going to happen. Bologna is in the Champions League spot right now, however, they need to stay consistent until the end of the season and they need to keep winning games. With all that in mind, guys, I'm simply going to take Bologna on the Asian line of -1, which is -115, which means that if they win by a goal, we are getting a push. If they win by two or more, we are going to get a win. While Bologna on the money line is actually a perfect pick to put it in a double with something else, maybe some other money line from any of the other leagues or something like that. But as a single, I'm taking Bologna on the on -1 Asian handicap line at -115. Off to the French League One, guys, where we have Strasbourg hosting Reims, and the second matchup is between Reims and Toulouse. Reims is still fighting for that European spot, and they are now undefeated in the last four games. However, defensively, they are a bit of a mess when playing on the road. They haven't kept a clean sheet when playing on the road in a long time, and I don't think they can do it here as well because Strasbourg hasn't lost any of their last three games. They have scored 5 goals in those 3 games, and they have also kept a couple of clean sheets as well. So when I consider everything, all the injuries and stuff like that, I just don't see either side keeping a clean sheet here, guys. So I'm gonna go with both teams to score at -143. And like I said, guys, Rennes and Toulouse is the next matchup. And Rennes is coming off of a three-game losing streak. They haven't scored a single goal in those 3 games. However, all three of those games were on the road. Now, this is an opportunity for them to get back on the winning track. Toulouse was actually playing pretty well as of late, undefeated in their last 2 games. They have been scoring a lot of goals. Uh, Defensively, they are also, I would say, a bit shaky when playing on the road. But they are missing a few players who are suspended and injured for this game, and that should have an impact on their game and their depth. So, like I said, this is a great opportunity for Rennes to get back on the winning track. And with that in mind, I'm simply going to take Rennes on the money line, and the price right now is -125. And for the parlay of the day, guys, like I said, a five-legger. Bournemouth versus Manchester United, both teams to score. Barcelona on the double chance against Cadiz. I'm taking Bologna on the money line. Mainz, Hoffenheim over 1.5 goals. And I'm going to take Leipzig on the money line against Wolfsburg. Five-legger pays on plus 346. And I think it's gonna be a nice winner for us, guys. As usual, there's a separate video for the MLS free picks, so check it out, guys, up on the Pickdawgz YouTube channel. Make sure you subscribe, make sure you hit that like button, and I'll see you soon with more free picks.